stupid. She just fell unconscious.
The commoners claim it's her
Serfs and lords will
Geralt! It's good to see you.
The commoners claim Stennis is involved in Saskia's poisoning. They're looking to slaughter him.
What's stopping them?
The knights, Aedirnian noble lords.
Not easy to raise a hand against a blue blood.
A peasant by the name of Calton was at the council. He didn't seem to respect anything or anyone.
Calton's a blackguard. He'll use any excuse to raid and plunder.
He has a taste for noble blood. They say he buries gold looted from the lords in some gorge. Looks like things are getting nasty.
Hear me! What do you want? I'm Scalen Burden. I keep order in Vergen.
Are doing a nice job then? Where was you when they poisoned Saskia?
Give us the prince! Get the flails!
Stop!
Yorvath.
Squirrels! Everyone who wants to leave this yard in one piece, keep your hands off your weapons. I don't care if you're a serf or a lord. I'll kill you all if need be.
What's going on?
The servant carrying wine during the feast said that Prince Stennis and Olgan poisoned Saskia. We want justice!
You want revenge. It's not the same thing.
We don't care. Saskia's fallen as if dead, while the poisoning prince and noble lords rush to herd us onto the field and sell us to Henselt. We won't let them!
You lie, Calton. Nobody's being sold out. The poisoner must be caught and tried by law.
Your law? What then? He'll pay a fine and get spanked on his ass? We'll spank him all right, with an axe to the throat!
Where's this servant?
Safe. The Scoia'tael keep an eye on him.
Why is the prince hiding in his house if he's innocent?
Enough! I'll shoot the first to reach for a weapon. Then heads will start falling.
There's more of us. You can't kill every...
Then you'll be first. Now back off! We need to act quickly.
What's your plan?
I'll frighten them a little. Bleed them if need be. I'll buy you some time, but be swift. I can't hold them off for long. Question the peasants and the nobles, and talk to the dwarves. Maybe you can get to meet Stennis.
Even if he's guilty, I'm sure he's prepared a suitable story.
You'll know how to sort the sheep from the goats. Also, find the servant who started talking so suddenly. You won't have time to talk to everyone, though, that's for sure.
Rolling dung, you surly dog! You'll change your tone. It's good to see someone's taking care of it.
Say, Witcher, come over here.
Why is he lingering about? Like the stench in a dwarven hovel?
Those witchers be craving gold. This one's sure to say the prince is innocent, then sting Stennis for a pouch.
He'd better search for a lad who served the Virgin.
Yeah, once done with the prince, he'd better take him.
The prince stood right next to Saskia during the council. Did he have access to the wine cellar beforehand?
How should I know?
Why flap your mouth then?
The prince is a wealthy lord. Bribing a skivvy to poison the wine is nothing to him.
Just because someone can afford gold teeth doesn't mean they'll pull their healthy ones. You know Saskia's servant?
Willie of the Oblates. He handled the wine, indeed, but loves the Virgin like a sister and mother put together.
He'd gladly get quartered for her.
Where's this Willie of yours?
Hiding in his shack, afraid of them lords. Squirrels guard him.
What's it really all about? Who's backing you?
We want justice.
We don't need no one backing us. We knows what to do.
How would you punish the prince?
If a lad counts hens wrong, he'll be flogged. What should we then do with a man poisoning others?
Kill him.
A land without a ruler is a nightmare.
We have a ruler, the Virgin of Eden.
It's not certain she'll live.
Then we'll choose another who'll manage. But he must be one of us lads. That way he'll understand us.
And all people is gonna be equal, our way.
And the non-humans?
We have enough dung on the fields. Let non-humans find a non-human land.
Away with them!
Farewell.
Give us this whole flower.
What would the prince gain with
Rolling
the virgin's
dung,
death?
you surly dog!
Say, Witcher, come over here.
Serfs and lords will never be on the same side.
Greetings, Gwynblade.
What could Philippa want? Why does she care about Vergen being free, independent?
Like all sorceresses, she likes to dabble in politics. Not one of them would hesitate to sacrifice another life if it furthered their goals.
Quite a one-sided opinion. All? None? Life's rather colorful. It's not all black and white.
Shades of grey, I think. I have no illusions about mages. You know the fate which the Queen of the Valley of Flowers reserved for the Alvan youth. Enid Anglina, known also as Francesca Finderbear, another sorceress. In exchange for the creation of an Alvan kingdom in Dol Blathanna, she sent the Scoia'tael to be butchered while attacking Nilfgaard's foes from the rear. She had a chance to call it off. She could have opposed the Emperor of Nilfgaard and summoned the squirrels to defend the Valley of Flowers.
Why didn't she?
In the name of a higher purpose. It's what the Emperor wanted. That's why we became bandits after the war. That's why elves are dying, our young murdered by the likes of Roach. And that's why I cannot trust Philippa Eilhart.
Roach could be on the other side of the fog.
In that case, I'll finally get him. I came close in Flotsam.
Been after him for a while?
Ever since he became leader of the Blue Stripes. During his first mission as commander, he ambushed one of my units, cut it down to the last elf. Surprised me for the first and last time. I've been more cautious since then.
So it's a personal matter. Vengeance. A theme straight out of Dandelion's ballads.
The safety of the Scoia'tael demands his death. Of the commanders first appointed to such units, he's the only one still alive.
I noticed there's no Temerian emblem in your collection.
We should not claim something's done when it is not.
You do realize that a dozen others will replace him when he's gone. Possibly dirtier foes, possibly worse.
Better to have a known enemy, you say. That doesn't apply to Vernon. A more determined demon has never walked upon this earth. The longer he is active, the better he gets. I must put an end to it.
Tell me about this Dwan for whom the Scoia'tael are ready to do battle.
Saskia. She's no Dwan. Certainly not like the others. You've seen her. I doubt I need to explain.
She's fighting for Apontar Valley for dwarves, elves, and humans alike. I thought you despised humans.
I may only be a warrior, but I'm no fool. This is the best we can hope for now, and it's better than the Valley of Flowers.
I once met another Scoia'tael leader.
Yavin. I knew him. He had beautiful dreams and desperately wanted me to share them. Asked the same of you, I heard.
You know a lot about me.
I try to know as much as I can. About everyone.
I'm a witcher. I remain neutral. I didn't take his side.
Perhaps that is the correct attitude. Let things run their course. It's worse if we then wonder what could have been had we acted differently.
I try to avoid that. Decisions should be evaluated before they're made, not after.
How is it that we're on the same side today?
Things change. Today I have different goals and different allies. Have you ever been to the Valley of Flowers?
Dol Blathanna is nothing more than a vassal state of the Nilfgaardian Emperor. They call it the land of free elves, but the Scoia'tael are not welcome. It's another in a string of painful lessons. But a free Pontar Valley could change that. It's been 5 years since the kingdom was established in Dol Blathanna. Over 2,000 elves have settled there. Do you know how many children they've produced? 12 or so. It's no longer the Valley of Flowers. It's the Valley of Sterile Elders.
I'd love to see you tell Francesca that. You think you can repel Henselt's army?
No.
What do you mean, no?
The fortifications and dwarven devices are simply not enough to hold off the Kaedwennis. They are just too many.
What do you plan to do?
You'll see. One thing I can promise. I won't break any pledge I've made.
Anything new about Letho?
No, but I wager he's somewhere on the other side of the fog. I can feel it.
You haven't had a chance to explain yourself. Your alliance with Letho. This is a good time.
I suppose I owe it to you, Geralt. I don't know who they are exactly, nor who they're working for. I met Letho 2 months ago. He had escaped his pursuers in Edirn, found me and suggested we trade services. Our scouts and forest hideaways in exchange for the heads of Foltest and Henselt. A good offer to begin with that only became better when we revealed only part of our secrets. It then turned out that Letho was not alone. Serret and orcs were meant to kill Henselt. My warriors were to help them. As you know, this never came to pass.
Anything changed?
Not really. The peasants keep hollering. The noblemen stubbornly guard their chieftain.
Humans only care how their asses
Otherwise,
rise.
Can we have a word?
Why not? I'm Ogden, a founder. I cast mugs, plates, chalices. You need any, Witcher?
No thanks. The tableware in the council chamber is your handiwork?
It is. Made it back in Mayor Farragut's time. Since then, each and every goblet has hit the floor dozens of times, and what happened? Nothing, because they're steel. My goblets are indestructible, impervious to both the fury of sovereigns and servants who are all thumbs.
Saskia's chalice was new.
Aye, it was. Back in Mayor Farragut's day, Avenger Saskia was no more than an itch in her da's breeches.
Who ordered the goblet from you?
That goblet was a gift. A way for the folk of Vergen to pay tribute to Saskia. I got the honor of casting and presenting it to our lovely leader. The lass liked it so much, she's not used any other vessel since she received it.
Was the order for a normal goblet?
Not a chance. It was supposed to be a gift. I ornamented it richly, even on the inside. Not terribly practical, that, as it's hard to get clean. Some scum is bound to remain. But I wanted it looking downright regal, worthy of our Saskia.
The other chalices were not ornamented on the inside?
Course not.
Any chance there could have been 2 identical goblets?
Why, there's no craftsman that comes close to me in Vergen.
Could someone have tried to copy your handiwork?
Ha! I know of one who's been trying for years, but he's a fumbler, a screw-up. He's not produced one decent vessel. They all look like the work of a drunken elf. Thorax, his name.
See you at the inn. We'll grab a beer.
They're playing into Henselt's hands. If they start,
Can we have a word?
we'll have to face the entire amount of Kaedwen alone.
See you at the inn.
You can't mix water with fire. Saskia could.
Say, Witcher, come over here.
I'd gladly hear your opinion on the situation.
Finally, someone reasonable.
It's obvious Henselt bribed some serf, who then did what he was told.
That's interesting.
Just think it through. The prince couldn't have done it. The wine was in plain sight. Only the servants touched the decanters, and who are they? Commoners. Then that same commoner incited his folk to stand against the nobles and the prince.
Something to think about.
Enough of this charade!
Try to be reasonable, folks. Sit down and talk in peace.
We've talked enough! Come on, lads, let's drag the prince from his hovel!
Vergen's not a cesspit for anyone to shit in. There are laws to abide, and Scalen Burden's job is to uphold them.
There's no law allowing a serf to threaten a king's scion. I, Silgrat, brother of Seltkirk, the greatest knight to walk Edirnian land, say so.
Does it matter who was born in a castle and who in a pigsty? Any fool can prejudge and condemn. It's easier to accuse than to prove guilt.
A peasant servant claims that Prince Stennis supposedly attempted to kill Saskia. Why would the prince do such a dastardly deed? Bear in mind how eminent is his lineage.
That's why! The mongrel covets the crown!
Do you even remember how valorous he was towards Saskia during the negotiations with Henselt?
Pretending to be with her he was, sly fox. Taking the simple peasants in. But us lads ain't so dumb as you lords think.
See for yourselves how the commoners hate the prince, spitting venom like adders. They hatched a plot to dispose of him.
Saskia's servant said that...
Where is this servant, might I ask? If he's got something to say, why does he hide like a thief? The answer is simple. He's a fraud.
He's hiding to save his skin from you, whoresons. Squirrels have to guard him.
One last question. How could the prince poison Saskia? It's a known fact that servants taste wine from the barrels before the virgin sips it.
No need to poison the wine. Smearing the poison inside the chalice would be enough.
I never heard of anyone poisoning a chalice.
You haven't heard much, then. One of the Emperor's forebears died after sampling some lamb. He was always scared of poison and ate supper with his cook. The murderer spread poison on one side of a knife. Then he cut the meat so that only a small piece was poisoned.
The witch is right. Give us Stennis.
Saskia's got her own chalice.
It was commissioned from one of the dwarves. The order came with a very detailed drawing.
Even so, how did it come into Saskia's hand?
A good point. We can't be sure if the prince poisoned the wine.
Stennis is blowing hot and cold. Everyone knows that.
You were supposed to prove his guilt, not insult him, yokel.
Tell us who else would do it. A peasant wanted to hurt the miss? Never. It's cause of her you noble dogs can't ignore us. A pig won't cut its own throat. A peasant's not foolish enough to raise his hand against his savior.
Perhaps it is no peasant's deed. However, that doesn't mean the prince is guilty, fool.
Answer me this. Was not Stennis' room next to Saskia's? Do not the wines come from his own lice-ridden cellar? Can he not enter the Virgin's kitchen at will? Yes. His serene dumbhead the prince can, curses on his kin. Nobody in Vergen wants to kill Saskia. And even if they wanted, nobody but Stennis could do it.
Those are just words. Too much guesswork and not enough evidence. You can't convict anyone based on that.
Your Highness, this is dangerous.
I am not afraid. Fear is a commoner's trait, unfit for one with royal blood running in his veins. What do you want, to judge me? Is a prince a common thief who steals a dozen eggs at the market? You stand before royal majesty, and you raise your hands against it. In this world there are crimes that can be forgiven, and crimes that, by any means, cannot. Just as a mother killing her own child, or a man slitting his own brother's throat cannot be forgiven. A crime against one anointed by the gods themselves also cannot be condoned. He who raises hand against divine right is not worthy to walk this world. And what about he who poisons the Virgin of Edirn? Firstly, Saskia is alive, so no one can blame me for her death. Secondly, you have no proof that it was I who tried to murder her. And thirdly, I assure all gathered here, I won't rise above the law. However, only she, the Virgin of Edirn, can judge me. Can he?
And if Saskia won't get well, who's gonna judge you?
I believe she can be cured. But if the gods decide otherwise, we'll summon a coven of the wise who can pass just sentence.
Those are words worthy of a true sovereign.
I am the one you should look to for guidance. Let my deeds be the flame that lights up your darkness.
The prince has a right to a fair trial, no matter if he's guilty or not. We can't deny him that. What will the peasants do if we hand them the prince? Will they hear him out? No. They'll hang him from the nearest tree or tear him limb from limb. What will happen if we allow a lynching? What if people see that might makes right? Who'll guarantee they won't desire to avenge their wrongs, real and imagined? Who'll protect people whose only fault is noble birth from the exasperated mob? And where will it lead?
The peasants are furious.
They didn't dare mount a frontal attack.
But they haven't forgotten about Stennis, and won't. It'll be that way until Saskia regains consciousness.
She won't keep order by strength alone.
Unless it's a great strength.
We need an authority figure, and royal blood.
5 courts go to waste in the Dwarven dungeon at the moment.
There's also Henselt.
Going into that haunted mist is madness. Stealing Stennis away would be easier.
No. Anything involving Stennis will cause a riot.
I've had enough of the peasants and nobles barking. Saskia's the best leader I know, but she can't hope to defeat Henselt's army with this rabble, which is why I'm going to get reinforcements.
Where?
4 Scoia'tael units await in hiding to the east. Time to summon them.
You'll make it in time?
I must.
I tried locating Triss, but the mist disrupts the megascope. There's a weak signal nearby, probably on the other side.
In the Kaedweni camp?
You'll have to pass through the mist.
The mist is full of wraiths.
I'll help you. I'm continuously scanning the battlefield. I'll show you the way through. I'll find you when you enter the mist.
Farewell, then.
We still need royal blood.
I know. Henselt.
We need his blood, not his death.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm not a Kingslayer?
You wanted to discuss something?
Your friend Sheila is conniving with Henselt.
I know this, Witcher, but it's no cause for concern. Schiller is there to ensure Henselt doesn't fall prey to the same people who killed Foltest. We don't want him as sovereign of the Pontar Valley, but we also don't need Kedwin to descend into civil war. Remember the antidote for Saskia. It's very important. I can go no further. If Deathmold senses my presence...
How will I get back to Vergen?
I'll wait nearby. Hurry!
I knew it. Damn, I knew it was you. When the mist started whirling, I told the boys it's Geralt of Rivia, or my name isn't Vernon Roach. Friend of yours?
Just found him. He was already dead.
Interesting. Just like a Vergenny. You almost made it through the fog. What's your business here?
Saskia's been poisoned. The antidote can't be made without a Rose of Remembrance. I came here to get one.
Dogs are at each other's throats, even though a bear tests their bounds. No roses bloom here, Geralt. Tell the truth.
I gave such a rose to Triss.
Still looking for your sorceress. If she came here, I'd know about it.
Roach, it's really important. Only you can help me.
Now you want my help? I'll gladly return the favor. Oh, wait. You did nothing for me. You made your choice. Fled with the elves while Vess almost died at that Horson Lorito's house.
Is Vess all right?
What do you care? We could have all died while you played at being a squirrel.
I'm not one of your men, Roach. I didn't betray you.
I didn't say that.
But you thought it. You and your men against the whole world. Those not on your side are against you.
Don't you care about Foltest's death anymore?
The assassin kidnapped Triss, remember? Help me find her, and I promise I'll keep the word I gave you in the dungeons of La Valette Castle.
I don't know why I'm doing this. Right. If Triss is anywhere in the area, it can only be one place. At the rear, near the riverbank, the Nilfgaardians have set up their camp. Nobody can enter it. You can get there either via some caves or by sneaking through the main camp. I'd forget the gates. Believe it or not, the whorehouse is where you need to go to enter the caves. The ladies thought they'd use that passage to service the knights and nobles, but some monsters have their lairs there. If you've had your fill of whores and monsters, to the east there's a path that leads along the riverbank. That'll get you near the canteen. You'll have to sneak the rest of the way from there.
Thanks, Roach.
Hey! I'll hold you to your promise.
Really strange. I fought the Nilfgaardians a few years back. Now we make camp. Pretty please.
Well, well, a witcher. Girls, prim yourselves. How can I help you, handsome?
I wanted to talk.
We're no strangers to the art of conversation, but it'll cost you just as much as a good plough.
I'm not going to pay for conversation.
Are there trolls here? Well, well, a witcher. Girls, how can I help you, handsome?
I'm looking for a whore.
We've got plenty of those, you'll be glad to hear. But you'll need to show me your coin before you choose one. We all have our principles.
I've got the Orens, if that's what you're wondering.
Well, these are my girls. Choose, white-haired one. Well, how can I help?
I wanted to...
We're no...
Sounds all right.
What would you like to talk about?
I wouldn't mind knowing what you think of Henselt.
I'm a madam. What can I know about the king?
I seem to remember that madams and innkeepers know everything.
He used to come here to plough, to develop a camaraderie with the fighting men like, but that was just a phase. Most likely only ploughs the sweet smelling ladies now. Well, how can I?
I wanted to...
We're no...
Sounds all right.
Ask away. What would you like to talk?
Heard of the Virgin of Eddern?
Hasn't everyone?
Any thoughts?
Oh yes. A maturing woman like that never been ploughed. Her head's bound to be muddled. We'll have peace when she drops her sword to grab a nice healthy prick instead. Well, how can I?
I wanted to...
We're no...
Sounds all right.
Ask away. What would you like?
Anything interesting going on in the camp?
Soldiers are scared shitless, what with this battle approaching. They'd rather drink themselves silly than let us honest whores make some coin. Is that interesting? I doubt it.
Not raring to fight, are they?
They might have been eager at first, but the longer we sit here, the less lively they become. Fighting's like ploughing. Lust for one, and you lust for the other. Well,
I wanted to...
We're no...
Sounds all...
Ask away. What would you like?
I need to get inside the camp, unnoticed.
That'll cost you more than straight ploughing. That's nowhere near enough.
I need to get inside the camp, unnoticed.
That'll cost you more than straight ploughing. What would you like to talk about?
I need to get in...
That'll cost you... That seems satisfactory. We've an underground passageway leading out to the riverbank within the camp's confines.
Thanks.
Although we've not used it for some time. There's something down there. Something evil, horrible.
I'm sure I'll manage.
The entrance is inside the tent.
At least this one. Gotta pay for looking too.
Haha! Others like my mother.
Boring.
Bastard.
Make love, not war.
Efkir Nordling, where do you think you're going?
To see the ambassador.
With all that steel on your back?
I'm not looking for trouble.
Shillard Fitz-Estelin is waiting.
Metnara Ravnova, Hetman. Geralt, I'd hoped we wouldn't meet again.
We caught him sneaking through the camp, Excellency. We disarmed him.
Esther Garamnith. I remember you telling Foltest you'd like to return to hunting monsters.
Triss Merigold was kidnapped.
Foltest's advisor. I heard she arrived at Vergen and hoped we would meet, but if she was kidnapped... Now I understand why you couldn't just stand by. But there are other reasons too. They told me you're in league with the Scoia'tael, with Iorveth himself no less. Is this true?
More or less.
Have you heard of the slaughter of Enshe at the Ravine of the Hydra? The kings of the North effectively forced the Empire to condemn and execute the war criminals of the Vryhed Brigade. Iorveth was among those condemned.
September 13th, 1269, the Ravine of the Hydra. Following the Peace of Sintra, 53 officers of the Vryhed Brigade were brought here and executed, their throats cut. The elves' bodies were dropped into the chasm. I don't know what the riders of the hunt were looking for. November 23rd, 1269. Sintra, the village of Coldwater, and another victim of the hunt. An 11-year-old boy. His parents didn't even ask if he had a chance. I'm tired. February 24th, 1270. A high pass in the Armouche Mountains. An Imperial Manticore, one of the world's oldest and deadliest monsters. I used to feel excitement at moments like this. Now the beast is only an obstacle on my way. Its meat and hot blood will help me survive this icy hell. May 30th, 1270. The Yaruga River. The hunt continues to race south. Since I've been following them, they've taken 23 individuals, all between the ages of 10 and 20. All except for Yennefer.
Amusing that the Scoia'tael believe the Emperor betrayed them. In fact, the kings of the North demanded the massacre at the Ravine of the Hydra. Do you feel well?
I feel fine.
I'm sorry. I can't give you more of my time. The long road to Loch Muin awaits me. The Council and the Conclave are waiting, and Triss Merigold, as always, arrives in the nick of time.
What are you talking about?
The figurine. He must have it on him.
What's the meaning of this?
I want to introduce someone to you. This is Vanamar, my personal sorcerer. He sensed Triss approaching our camp, though she was to arrive in different company. Before you die, Witcher, would you be so kind as to explain how you got your hands on this figurine?
I found it on a man's corpse.
And you finished his mission for the Emperor's glory. Triss will help us find those wenches that betrayed the Empire. I don't know whether you killed Talvig or found him dead. It's irrelevant now. I'd prefer not to sentence to death a man previously pardoned by the Emperor himself. Unfortunately, I have no choice. Vanamar, once you're done with him, convey my congratulations to Cynthia. Leading Philippa Eilhart up the garden path is no small feat. Farewell, Witcher.
This is a good place. Are you ready, Geralt of Rivia?
I am.
I prefer to face you in combat, but that cannot be arranged.
Just like the good old days. Having killed an Nilfgaardian for years. I knew you'd get in trouble.
You've a talent for getting me out of it. Shillard has Triss. He's taking her to Loch Muin.
Now I understand the commotion. Ambassador Shillard kidnaps Foltest's former advisor. This stinks horribly, Geralt. It would seem the Nilfgaardians want to be present at the Conclave's restoration.
Only Triss can lead us to the Kingslayer. I need to save her.
Not only her, Geralt. All the other leads point to the same place. Sheila managed to locate the killer's hideout. They were hiding nearby in the gullies. Deathmold sent his men there, but Foltest's killer fled. 2 other witches were covering him. One was taken alive. Before he died from torture, he revealed that our bruiser went to Loch Muin. The mages want to resurrect the council and the conclave that once represented all the sorcerers and sorceresses of the north. King Radovid, the ruler of Redania, is also invited. As Loch Muin lies in Kedwen, Henselt is likely to arrive too. Triss, Nilfgaard, Radovid, a bunch of mages, and the Kingslayer. Too many eggs in that basket.
One more thing, Roach. I need to see Henselt.
Why?
I need a few drops of Henselt's blood. Someone poisoned Saskia's wine, and his blood is an ingredient of the cure.
Saskia's a rebel, a wench from who knows where. She only speaks of knightly honor.
Says Vernon Roach, blue-blooded prince, heir of Temeria.
All right, enough. Plow it. I hope I won't regret it. Henselt should be in his tent. I'll distract the guards, then it's up to you.
I owe you, Vernon.
That's not even funny anymore, Geralt. So, ready?
Let's go, Roach.